Hello, Leo. I feel so excited to see all my fire signs today for some reason. Just finished Aries and Sagittarius. That jumped out. Interesting. Sideways. I don't get sideways cards very often, but that one really wants to be sideways. We're working with the Pagan Underworld deck today, which has 5 lunar cycle cards, and we've got this. This is a rising sun. How interesting. I've never gotten that out of that card before. Leo, the rising sun, hey? All right then, let's give it a go. We're gonna have some noise out the window today, but it's just such a gorgeous day. I can't bring myself to close the window, so we'll get through. What is the overarching energy for Leo today? Okay, so we've got the Knight of Cups inverted, Judgment, the Empress inverted, the Hermit inverted, and the Six of Wands inverted. I'm seeing a lot of negative self-talk here with this Judgment. I'm landing here first. And the Knight of Cups inverted. So I feel like this is a real lack of compassion and gentleness that you're offering yourself right now. I feel like the reason that this is happening is because we're really allowing other people to dominate our reality at the moment, and we've got the Empress inverted as well. So I don't know that this energy, it's like pretty clear that this isn't serving us and is leaving us with a real sense of failure. And yeah, we have the rising sun. Why is this happening? It's not very, like, it's very clear what is happening, but why is this happening? What came out here? So you're feeling stuck. You're feeling stuck in a situation that you do have a way forward out of. You're really stealing from yourself. You're letting other people kind of come in the night and take what is yours. What are they taking? The Queen of Wands. They're taking literally you. This is you, Leo. With yourself. This is the sunflower that you derive your power from. Is like, think of the sun card, right? Someone is the people that you're investing your life in do not see you for who you are. And you have gotten to the point where you've now internalized that. However they see you, you're beginning to see yourself that way. However they treat you, which is not with compassion and foresight and true knowledge of you, you are now mirroring that behavior. You have the Empress inverted and this eight, like, they want you to feel trapped here because it's serving them. What are they getting out of you? They're getting control. With Temperance inverted here. They don't want they don't want your spiritual path to supersede their needs, because what you're doing for them is making them a King of Wands. Interesting. Holy shit, Leo. What is this? What is this? Why are you in a relationship that relies on the literal inversion of your soul and acknowledging this, basically, like, this is a false king. This person is assuming authority over your life by denying what your life actually is. The only reason that they're permitted to fill that role is by you adapting and you changing and you morphing into the person that they would need you to be for it to make sense for you to give them this sense of authority over your life. But you are the seeker. This is what I pulled here as the clarifier. You are someone who is supposed to be, so you might feel like you've arrived at somewhere with this person. You might feel that you've painted a pretty picture with them in your life. And like I keep saying, you know, I feel like I'm giving off the impression that this is like a marital relationship or a romantic relationship, and that is the impression I'm getting, but it could also be a situation at work or in your family, but it's something very dominant, something that's in your life every day, something that's really impacting how you're feeling about yourself and seeing your entire life. but you have something to do. You have a very important job, and doesn't care. I keep saying he, could be a woman. You know, I'm just a straight woman, so that tends to be how my language comes out in reading about relationships, where the other is masculine and the subject is feminine, but that's of course not always the case. But yeah, this parade is waiting for you. You're not going to get there with this shit going on. So I'm going to leave the king and the inverted queen here with her seeker, and he's going to get to keep his inverted temperance. I'd like to know how this happened. How did Leo become so decentered? Why did Leo accept this initial proposal, and what did she think she was going to get out of it? Okay, cool. Why you accepted this proposal? The Lovers. So I feel like this is a marital relationship. And what did you think you were going to get out of it? The Fool inverted, which very interestingly, right? So the way these two cards interact in this Pagan Underworld stack is that this is a continuation of the Fool. The Fool is your starting point with 0, but the Seeker goes on and on into infinity. So the fact that you thought you were going to get the Fool inverted means that you thought you could put aside this feeling of constant renewal and rejuvenation, which for, you know, there's a lot of reasons that we fight that, right? We do want to be done. We're tired, you know, moving through soul cycles and progressions and learning and finding out that you have whole new things to learn. Like it takes a lot of energy. But ideally, if we move through it without fighting it too much, it's just as rejuvenating as it is draining. But the reality is a lot of these fights that we get into with ourselves and with other people's priorities over our lives, it can be very difficult. So it's very understandable why you just want to be done. You want to see the beauty in yourself reflected in the world around you in this love relationship. You want to see you want it to manifest the potential of all this love for yourself and the world and life in general that you hold inside your heart. And then you want to rest. You kind of want to be done. So I'm really getting this is it. You met him and you're like, this is it. This is it. This is it. We got the 6 of Cups inverted. The end of a dream. And the beginning of rest. Yeah, you wanted to be done. So maybe you were chasing after this kind of relationship for a really long time, and when you met this person, how did they convince you? I want to know. How did they convince you that they were it? Like, what were you wanting to see in that reflection? I feel like you were feeling pretty alienated from your community. It could be your family, it could be a career, but we have the 3 of Cups inverted here and the 4 of Cups inverted again, which is, I mean, if it was upright, it would really remind me of just like not wanting any more dreams, but it's inverted here, so I mean, although you do have a bunch of cups turned upside down, so I feel like maybe you were feeling really drained and really done. Yeah, you were feeling really drained and really done with this, this potential source of security and grounded sense of home, and was really like, yeah, I feel like the reason they were able to kind of swoop in and take you by surprise here with this promise was of past failures, of just being like, every time I try something, it doesn't go right. Every time I try to catch a break, it hasn't gone right. And especially feeling a loss of your family and your loved ones or your community or your work. Maybe you just lost a job, maybe you just moved. But there is a reason you were in a particularly vulnerable spot when this person came into your life. So very understandable. That's, ooh. Who was that? Another sideways card. It like pushed itself all the way up against my wall, so I haven't had a sideways card reading in so long, and now we've got 2 in 1 reading. So I'm really, when you look at this card sideways, this 2 of Wands, I think of parallel lines, right? Parallel lines are lines that will never meet. Your path will never align with this person's path. I'm sorry. Because I feel like you must love this person quite a bit. Although I feel like you don't really remember why, maybe. You've been waiting so long. Waiting so long for this to work out. You've probably put so much into it. I think you made a real commitment with this Two of Swords. You feel this relationship really is a reflection of you. I think you've come to see the success or failure of this relationship as a success or failure of you as a person. You've really internalized this endeavor to the point where you can't differentiate it. Let's ask about this rising sun. What is the rising sun with this moon card? I've never seen it like this before, so I'm just like with the sunflower and the sense of self, which is the sun card typically really playing an important theme here. Oh, another sideways card. What's going on? The Empress sideways. And these came right back out. You saw me shuffle. Look at this. 4 of Cups and 3 of Cups inverted again. Okay, I really need to know what is this rising sun. Ask him. I really want the rising sun. I want a really definitive message for Leo about the rising sun that's coming in their life. Fear. Okay, so we've had some really big fear driving all of this. A fear that you're never going to be who you want to be. I feel like this is old pain. I feel like this came from your family of origin. Because how can we... One more track. How can we move in the Queen of Wands? How can we sit comfortably upon this throne and this seat and maintain the natural authority? Because there's 2 kinds of authority. There's natural authority, which is when, oh, you want to ask her about that because she's been through that before. She knows how to, like, that's her whole thing. Like, you want to learn how to ride a horse? Go talk to her. She's been riding a horse for her whole life. She can ride any horse. She never falls off. When she did fall off, she always landed on her ass, not her head. Not a bone broken in that body, or, you know, broken so many times, can't be broken again. That's natural authority. We know, we just look at that person and we know that that's who we go to on that subject. Arbitrary authority is when someone comes in and says, that's the horseback riding teacher, and that person is given arbitrary authority enforced through violence, through fear, through control of resources, right? Like your boss, right? You could have a boss that knows way less about any subject than you, but because they've been placed in a place of authority by the person who pays for your paycheck, they have the authority, right? So how can we occupy Queen of Wands with natural authority if we can't? This is our ability to move with that. Like the Knight of Wands is the person with natural authority. That's where it comes from in the Suit of Wands. This person can go through life holding this torch aloft. Like, look at the confidence in this man's face, right? The rising sun is your Knight of Wands, that you are going to deal with all of these fears of, like, what will happen? What are you so afraid of? That's the question. What are you so afraid of will happen if you either leave this person, this King of Wands, because I feel like it's a bad enough situation that might be warranted, but at the very least you got to kick them off that throne. You're afraid of moving through grief. Afraid of moving through grief. I don't have the ability to move through grief without losing everything that keeps me safe, and I won't be provided with the resources I need to move through grief. So maybe it's like, I can't afford to leave them, or if I do, I'll lose all my friends, or, you know, they're so intertwined, and this happens where they're so intertwined in your life that you feel like I can't, or I can't stand the idea of them seeing me that way. If I pursue that dream, they'll judge me, they'll think I'm an idiot. Like, maybe it's not a divorce, but you don't want to lose the prestige of the role that they see you playing in their life, which is clearly very important to them. They love controlling you. They're no doubt dealing with fears of their own on that part, but you are afraid to move through grief. And you are afraid. This Empress being suspended here, this is like a lack of faith that if you do have the balls to do this, to deal with this shit, that you will be provided for. So again, this is really deep insecurity. This feels like childhood trauma, which takes a lot to work with. So I'm going to clear everything but the rising sun and the Empress, and ask for how to support our very frightened child, how to make sure that we do get what we need. Because this is coming, and if you fight it, good fucking luck. That's not like, there's some very strong energy around this reading that if you fight this, it's going to be to the death, in my opinion. Not going to work out well for you if you fight this. So how do we support our Leo? A lot of inversions here, so I think the way that I'm going to be reading these inversions is that this energy is here for you. You just really have to let your guard down and be prepared to have that. I feel like you've gotten to a place where it's really difficult for you to just have faith in any positive outcome. So we've got the Three of Swords upright, the Ten of Pentacles inverted, the Ten of Cups inverted, this little sliver of light, right? This little sliver of light, like, you know this is what you want, but it's not very clear to you yet how it's coming. And then the Ten of Wands upright. So again, with this Ten of Pentacles, I feel like you've got to go back to the family of origin and look at what's going on there, whether that means talking to a therapist or reading some books, self-identifying what trauma, what difficulties in your life have impacted you, doing some reading online, trying to find out how can I arm myself with the knowledge and the strength to face this head on. The Ten of Cups inverted I'm seeing as like, we really want to just flip this up and say, while we're going through this process, don't forget that happiness and progress are not an all or nothing scenario, that I'm sure that there is available abundance and available happiness in your life, and really like take pleasure in the little joys that you have all around you as you go through this very difficult process. But again, this is really like, you know, Three of Swords, like, you've got to go back. You've got to go back to where that first sword came in and stop just hurting yourself in the same ways over and over and over. You're just digging yourself in deeper and deeper and deeper every day that you allow these violations and these continuations of old traumatic wounds to continue to drive your life. And then the Ten of Swords, you know, this is going to bring up a lot. And so what we have is take your time. Take your time. And anytime you feel like you're going too far into something, or it's just all of this shit is coming back at you for it, like, give yourself permission. I think this relates back to this Ten of Cups. Give yourself permission to take it easy. Love the little things. It's not all or nothing here. But you really are being encouraged to at the very least begin this work. You're a rising sun. Let's get that sun rising. I would like an outcome, please. Two paths and two outcomes. One path, one outcome. if you continue to refuse to look to yourself as the authority in your own life and continue to rely on the selfishly motivated guidance of your King of Wands, you're going to be the Emperor inverted. There's going to be no room for you in your own life. If you make a decision, and if you protect yourself as you allow yourself to put that blindfold on, plug your ears, say, I need to know what I think about this. We have the Queen of Cups inverted, and obviously I'm biased to want to see a positive outcome for trusting yourself in this situation. Queen of Cups is a tricky inversion, honestly. I could say, oh, it's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to find yourself in there. You're gonna drown in all that emotion. You're not going to get the upright version, which is being able to, with vulnerability, like bearing your chest there, with vulnerability, look at all that you have to offer yourself and remain centered in it and safe and protected in your soul, in your emotion, in your heart. This inversion, I get even just a little bit of, like, I feel like I know where it's going. Hanged Man. Okay. What is this inversion trying to tell us? I mean, you might not get the clarity that you're looking for. Ten of Cups. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. So we've got the Queen of Cups inverted, the Hanged Man, and the Ten of Cups. This to me says that if you want to just not get stuck in all of that emotion, like, it just feels like there's a lot of really heavy feelings here, which isn't surprising given the suggestion that it's coming from a family trauma. We're gonna have to ask for help. Someone is out there, a community, that's what I'm getting, a community of healing is out there for you. It could be online, it could be in group therapy, it could be in a group of like-minded souls who have been through what you've been through before. The Wounded Warrior, the Nine of Wands. Go find your community. Go find the people who understand what you're going through, who understand who you are, who will offer that sympathy and that love. And I feel like what's going to happen is you're going to meet these people and you're going to see who they are, because it's going to be a reflection of you. And in giving love and compassion and understanding to them, you're going to finally be able to give it to yourself. Because I feel like that's why if you try and do this alone, with this Queen of Cups inverted, this Two of Swords, Queen of Cups inverted, and the Hangman, you're going to get stuck. Is because you have so internalized the dialogue and the needs of this King of Wands that you really need to meet yourself outside of yourself before you can start meeting yourself inside of yourself. So that's my advice. It's been a lovely reading. Thank you so much for bringing your energy to me today, and I can't wait to see where this goes next month.